Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Okay, thanks very much. Good evening, everyone. It is a Columbus Day special right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. 412-575-2600. That is the number to call on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. Bob Pompeani, joined by Gene Collier of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette here tonight. We have a lot to get into. And Gene will delve right into the Steelers right now because that's the hot topic. We all were there yesterday and saw what we saw. Are you more encouraged by what you saw from the Steelers moving forward now, that knowing they have 3 games coming up in a row in the AFC North?
Well, sure. I mean, not only did they play a good game in all 3 phases, as they like to say. I'm waiting for a 4th phase so we can stop saying that. But they beat a pretty good team. Now, Atlanta, of course, has a terrible defense, and that was really the difference in the game, I thought. The Steelers needed to play somebody with a defense that's worse than theirs, and they found it in the Falcons. But, don't forget the Falcons were, just a step away from the conference title game in the NFC last year. They held the eventual Super Bowl champion Eagles to one touchdown in their playoff game. So, I think that's a good win for the Steelers. The Steelers should win at home no matter who they play, but that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, but that defense took a hit with the loss of their best linebacker as well as
safeties.
2 safeties. Yeah. That's a hard thing to, and their defensive front is just not the same. They also missed Grady, who was out yesterday with an injury. So the Steelers took advantage of it, but to me, 41 points wasn't the story. It was how their defense played and the way that the coaching game plan allowed them to kind of unleash players to the ball and trust their secondary, and they did. And Joe Hayden is the first component of that. He was just all over Julio Jones, and if you can do that every week and take, like for example, this coming week it's A.J. Green, take him out of the game. Okay, now you probably have a better chance of winning. Yeah,
no, they were much better on defense, and especially as a coordinated unit. They all seemed to know what they were doing. J.J. Watt was tremendous, and for the first time I thought John Bostic played well. I didn't think he was even going to start the season. He had played so indifferently in the preseason, but it looks like he's figured some things out, so, their defense should improve, absolutely.
Yeah, and I also thought it was a good statement game for them right off the bat. They hadn't scored in the first quarter all year. Right. Their first drives were pathetic, mostly 3 and out, and here they are. They made a statement on not only the first drive, but the second drive, which was 97 yards, Gene. And I think James Conner, again, the defense was missing some key components, but the way he ran, he was breaking tackles, and you talk about yards after contact, he was the best in the NFL yesterday in yards after contact.
Yeah, he was very good, and he had, in addition to his yards after contact, which I understand are not to be confused with yak yards. Is that right? Those are yards after catch.
After contact. But if you do that, you just get yak both ways. You get yak twice.
Yak.
Yak.
But the offensive line, I thought, gave him a lot of room to run. I thought the offensive line had its best game. No sacks, a lot of room to run. When you do that, when you get that from your offensive line, you're very hard to beat for anybody to beat.
All right, we'll also talk about the Penguins, who, after a loss on Saturday, really find themselves searching for some answers. I know it's only 2 games, so I don't put much stock into this because I remember last year when they laid a big egg in Chicago and got pounded. Remember, what was it, like 9-1, 10-0 or something?
10-0 or something.
It was something bizarre.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That was the second game, I think.
Second game. It's the way they played, and it has to get Mike Sullivan irritated because it's not the kind of hockey he wants them to play. He was watching his team basically exchange chances with Montreal, and say what you want about Montreal. They're young, they're fast, and they had 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s, and when you get that, you have an advantage. And I think the Penguins have got to clamp down, so they made a change. Oli Mata off of the top 6, and they put in Juuso Riikola, the rookie. Do you think it's overreacting after 2 games?
Well, I don't know. All we do on this show is overreact. Well,
sure.
If there was no overreaction, there'd be no show. It is 2 games. Goals against, as the French Canadians like to say, is terrible. What is it? 13 in 2 games? 11 in 2 games. So now we're going to start talking about line combinations, so we haven't even played a 3rd game. I'll tell you what, there will be a significant number of line changes between here and April 13th.
I think Mike Sullivan likes doing that, and every now and then you got to shake it up a little bit. But so far, it's 2 games. We'll see. They got 4 days off before Vegas comes into town. Vegas was in Buffalo tonight, and Buffalo beat them. Buffalo 2-1. They're over 500 for like the first time in 6 years. Wow. And that's how bad it's been in Buffalo. Jack Eichel led the way with a couple of goals. Marc-Andre Fleury only saw a limited amount of shots, but he gave up 4 goals. Carter Hutton on the other side stopped 35 for Buffalo. So we're going to take a break on that note. When we come back, we'll talk about anything you want to talk about, including baseball playoffs. We already know the Brewers are in, and now we know the Dodgers will be their opponent. And David Freese came up with a game-winning hit in that game today against Atlanta. We'll talk about that and more. It's 412-575-2600 right here live on Pittsburgh CW.
The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters.